Hello everyone. Today we're doing a 2-day trip to Strasburg. First up, we're in Lancaster to see Norfolk Southern 5604. Then we headed into Strasburg to go to Paradise and see the Pennsylvanians. They were supposed to have 108, but of course, the day before we go, 108 gets taken to New York. On the way to Paradise, we saw that 89 hadn't made it back to Strasburg yet, so we stopped at SPJ Crossing where we met up with Train Track Jack. They gave 89 her old whistle back, which was actually 31's old whistle, and I'm 99% sure it's a Pennsy 3 chime. Don't quote me. Then we booked it down to Paradise to see the Pennsylvanians. But before those came, 89 came into Paradise. Next up was the Amtrak for Pennsylvania, and that came out of nowhere. And then, almost half an hour later, came the second Pennsylvanian. Then we headed down to Carpenter's to hear the ghost whistle with 89's new-ish whistle. Decided to head down to the one and only bridge in the entire Strasburg Railroad. We heard 89's whistle in the distance as she crossed Vilas Crossing and then came across the bridge, which funnily enough still had a Norfolk and Western logo from a photo charter with 475. To the Caboose, we headed down to the lake near the tracks to see 89 go by. the same spot to see 89 on her return trip. Two hours later, the 6 o'clock train left Strasburg. I really wanted to get a shot straight down the middle of the road, but I really did not want to get hit by a car today. And then I got the shot I wanted anyway. Early the next morning, we walked down the track to see 89 do her test run. She had stopped behind the shed, and we assumed she wasn't going to come, so we started walking back to the car. 89 came backing up the hill. The day before, we had seen this picture of 90. It looked like she was painted in her 1990s paint scheme. So, we decided to go on a shop tour to see for ourselves. A little bit before the shop tour started, though, 89 left the station. On our way to the mechanical shop, we saw Strasburg 8618 and a random ex-Southern Railway Norfolk Southern sleeper car. Next up was the number 1, which was technically the last and first engine ever to run at Strasburg. After looking at her, we looked over to see ex-Santa Fe 1235. According to our guide on the shop tour, this locomotive will be painted in the Santa Fe zebra stripe paint scheme. And then it was time for the main event.
Don't fall into the nasty clear.
They even let us in the cab to see 90's controls. Number 90 was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1924. She works for the Great Western Railway in Colorado. In 1967, she was sold to the Strasburg Railroad and has been their largest locomotive and a fan favorite ever since. Currently, she is wearing her 1990s paint scheme. This is her third special paint scheme in recent times. In 2014, they painted her in a Great Western paint scheme for her 80th anniversary. In 2020, it was the 1980s egg logo paint scheme. In 2025, for Strasburg Railroad's 65th anniversary and number 90's 101st birthday, she has been painted in her 1990s paint scheme. Getting away from 90 a little bit is Strasburg number 31. This was Strasburg's first steam engine after becoming a tourist railroad and has been undergoing her 1472 restoration since 2009. Anyway, 475 is currently in the mechanical shop getting her annual inspection. Don't quote me on this, but she might get painted in her 1990 scheme, and she also might get her headlight moved. But don't quote me. After our shop tour, we headed down to the crossing near Cherry Crest Adventure Farm. Since this was the first time in a while it hasn't been super windy, I decided to try to get my drone working. But of course, it needs calibrated, so I fumble with my drone as 89 rumbles closer. After that, to get one last shot at Strasburg, we headed down on my favorite crossing, Espenshade. There, despite the crazy wind, I managed to get my drone up and far enough to not annoy the other foamers and get one last drone shot for today. Then we headed back to Lancaster to get another look at 5604. I seriously don't know why this unit exists. Sometime in 2023, it seems to have gotten a random Pennsylvania Railroad sticker, which doesn't make much sense to me because it was built as a high hood for the Norfolk and Western. But here it is, sitting in Lancaster on, I'm pretty sure, X-Reading trackage. And this is so confusing sometimes.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Then we went to this Amtrak maintenance of way pull-off, where for some reason, Amtrak 43 was running very late, like half an hour late, which is express for Amtrak, but we got to see it appearing from behind this metal box. Next up was the Keystone we originally came out for.